Hey everyone, so the first thing I'm doing as always is priming the eye area. I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion today and I've just taken a little onto my brush and now I'm sweeping it across the eye area. Then I'm going to set that primer in place with my face powder. So I've just picked up a little on a fluffy blending brush and I'm brushing this across the eye area anywhere that I applied that primer. I'm going for a winged liner look again today, so to begin, as always, I'm taking a felt tip liner pen and I'm mapping out the shape of my wing. I've done this in the last couple of tutorials and I've gone into detail as to why I do it previously. The Urban Decay Naked Heat palette was my favourite palette of 2017 and it's actually one of my all-time favourite palettes in general. I use it daily, so I was really excited to put the Petite Heat to the test. So I'm just beginning with the shade Inhale and it's the only shimmery shade in the palette and I'm just using a large C-shaped brush to apply this to the inner half of the eyelid. Next then, I'm taking Vibrate on my fluffy blending brush and this is kind of a peachy brown shade and it's a matte, so brilliant for the crease. I've started on the outer third of the eye and I'm just sweeping this across the crease and fading the shadow up towards the brow. Making my way across the palette from light to dark, I'm picking up some of that shade Hot Spell. It's a little deeper and a tad more of an orangey brown than the previous shade, and I'm just taking this into the crease as well to add some depth. These shadows are a bit powdery in the pan, that would be my only complaint. There's a bit of kickback, but the pigmentation is there and they blend quite easily. Now I'm picking up some of the shade Wild Thing, probably my favourite shadow in the palette. I love a good orange, and I'm focusing this shadow more on the lid, so I'm sweeping it near enough halfway across the lid to meet that light shimmery shade, and then I'm blending it across the crease, keeping it quite deep in that area so that we can still see those two previous shades. Next then, I'm using Heist, which is a rusty orange brown, and I'm patting this down on the outer third of the eye, the very outer third of the lid, and I'm sweeping it across into the crease, layering it over that orange shade that I applied previously, and I'm doing this to deepen the orange shade because I want the lid to pop. Lastly then, I'm taking Strike, which is a nice plum shade, and I'm using this to add some further depth to the look. Usually at this point I would use a black, but I wanted to stick just to this palette. I'm using a taper blending brush because it will allow me to work quite precisely, and I'm smoking that shadow along the outer third of the lash line and then into the crease in a kind of C shape. The shadow I did find needed to be built up a bit more than the others. I do like this palette, but I don't think the quality is quite as good as the quality of the Naked Heat palette. Now that I've laid down all of my colours, I'm going back in with each shade and I'm just applying a tiny bit more product to touch up each colour to make sure that they're all nice and vibrant, and in doing this as well it'll just help me to ensure that each shade blends nicely into the other and that I've no harsh lines. Next then, I'm going to fill in my outline, so I'm taking my Essence liquid liner as usual and I'm just gliding the liquid liner over the eye area. I didn't want anything too dramatic lash wise, I wanted the eyeshadows to do all the talking, so I'm using the Kiss lashes in the style Lily, and the Kiss lashes are really easy to apply, the band is nice and thin. I just pop the lash down on the centre of the upper lash line and then I tack down the corners. Moving on to the lower lash line now, I'm using a bullet shaped brush to smoke some shadow down along there. I've started with a Hot Spell and then I'm adding some of that gorgeous orange to deepen things up, and then I'm adding in Heist. And I'm using that same brush because I'm applying my shadows from light to dark, so it's fine to do. Then I'm going in with Strike to add some depth and I'm pressing this into the lash line with the use of an angled brush. For the waterline then, I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Torch, and if you have blue eyes, this is really going to make them pop. For the inner corner, I'm using some of that shimmer shade Inhale again, and I'm adding this around the tear duct with a pencil brush, and then I'm adding some under the highest point of my brow. To finish off the look, I'm adding a couple of coats of mascara and then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please let me know by commenting and giving me a thumbs up. It really helps me out, and I'll chat to you all soon.